Phase 1. Moving into position. Exercise Saber Strike 16 brings troops from 13 NATO countries, including Marines with Black Sea Rotational Force and Combat Logistics Regiment 2, as one combined joint unit. They're in Latvia demonstrating their collective capability to move troops and equipment wherever the next conflict occurs.
Saber Strike is simulating and exercising the Marine Corps' capability to deploy and aggregate CONUS-based and theater-allocated forces and join it with pre-positioned equipment to exercise and deploy into the Baltics to work with our partners and allies in the Baltics and enhance our interoperability and capabilities and set conditions for future operations.
The U.S. Marines provide a critical capability to the Allied commander, answering the call when a crisis contingency arises. In order to rapidly deploy anywhere in Eastern Europe, Marines utilize caves hidden away in Norway to stockpile their equipment and ammunition needed for crisis or combat.
We have the capability to use the Marine Corps pre-positioning Norway gear to move anywhere in the world, essentially.
When the order is given, Marines grab their gear and quickly respond anywhere around the globe. Marine Corps Pre-Positioning Program Norway, better known as MIC-PIPIN, gives the Marines the flexibility to move from the U.S. and other allied countries into the area of operations, meeting their gear on the way. Phase 2. Deployment of forces. In the exercise scenario, NATO forces, alongside the U.S. Marines, come together to contest a fictional adversary in order to defend the Baltics. 2nd Marine Expeditionary Forces from CLR-2 departed from Camp Lejeune and headed to Norway, where a hidden facility with pre-positioned equipment waited to be taken out of the caves. The equipment traveled from Norway to Latvia utilizing NATO logistical support from both the UK and Latvians. Once offloaded, the gear convoyed to Camp Adaži, one of Latvia's premier training facilities. The Marines' ground combat element hit the deck, grabbed their gear, and got to work.
The link-up of gear, ammunition, Marines at the right place, at the right time, is what enables us to be successful.
Phase 3. Into the fight. Marines for the next 2 weeks put their skills to the test, training with their NATO counterparts during several fully integrated live-fire exercises. Fire and movement is the basic principle allowing Marines to move towards an enemy. These movements are made possible during these training evolutions by utilizing close air support, tanks, and artillery. Marines from the Black Sea Rotational Force brought M1A1 Abrams tanks, artillery, and mortars to give the foreign forces direct support for live, combined arms ranges. The final evolution brought U.S. Marines, British soldiers, Royal Marine Commandos, and Norwegian soldiers together in order to create a combined unit that fights as one battalion. Phase 4. Victory and Retrograde. After a long, successful 3 weeks, Exercise Saber Strike 16 finally comes to a close, but the mission is not over. Marines from CLR-2 move to the port of Riga and begin loading their cargo back onto ships.
We will be able to utilize, again, NATO logistical integration to move our gear back to the caves for all follow-on operations, so that in the event a crisis occurs, we will be able to efficiently redeploy again to support our NATO allies.
Beginning their sail back to Norway, where they will return their gear into the caves. The Marines will spend the next few weeks meticulously staging their equipment and gear for the next exercise or real-life contingency.
The exercise has been very successful so far. Each of the partners will lead this exercise better prepared for future operations.
From 2014, it's already shown that the situation has changed. Therefore, it's very important to be all together and to be with capable forces on a right time, in a right place, and respond to any aggressions or to show our commitments for our democracy or our values.
From Camp Lejeune in Bulgaria to Norway and Latvia, Marine Forces Europe is prepared to respond to any crisis and stand alongside our NATO allies and partners.